Day Broadside, day 648. Let's talk about twats today. And no, I'm not talking about the ham wallets that we've all come to know and love. I'm talking about people who are twats, okay? Today, I went into the UPS store, the UPS, as some people like to refer to it, and I had a product that I needed to return to the Amazon facility because it was not what I needed. And so I walk in there, and as soon as I open the door, I see way too many humans milling around inside the said store. I walk in and I open the door and I'm like, oh. And there's like 7, maybe 8 people ahead of me. No big deal. It is what it is. I can't get mad at that. I try my best in my life to just remain calm in these situations. I don't get all bent out of frame like some people, because if it's just something I can't do, then I'll just turn around and go leave. I'll do it another time. It's fine. Okay. It's not anyone's fault that there's 7 or 8 other people ahead of me that want to do the exact same thing that I'm here to do. That's just the fact that there's 40 million people in this country, and there's only so many UP stores, right? So I walk in, I'm holding this box. It's kind of heavy, whatever. And that's the only stupid part about it. So eventually I put the thing out. I walk like 3 people ahead and I just put the thing out. Because, if you've ever been in a UPS store, there's not really a good like waiting area. It's not really a lobby. There's just and if somebody comes in and needs to get their like PO box or something, everybody's in their way. It's not very well designed. But there's 2 people working the registers, and there's some chick in the back that's like apparently packaging stuff and whatnot, but she's not working registers. There's 3 total employees from what I could tell. And I noticed that, obviously there's a guy and a girl at the counter. There are customers dealing with it. And then the girl, like a couple ahead of me, she just keeps being very perturbed by the fact that it's taking so long. And to their credit, the store clerks, both the male and the female working behind the counter, are making, small talk, and everybody's having a good time and all this. And you can tell every time they tell something, they say something, ha ha ha, or whatever. This lady in pink, she's got a pink shirt on, these leotard things. I don't think leotards, leggings. That's what I'm looking for. She gets more upset visually. You can just tell that it's irking her that they're having a good time. And I'm like, look, that's their job, is to make light of the situation and have good time and kind of pass the time and whatnot. They'll get to. They're not slowing down their job any that's going to affect you. So this dude in front of her has to come by and use one of these computers that they've got. And God knows what these computers do, but he's wanting to log in. And so the guy behind the counter has to come out from behind the counter and come out and help him. And he goes over there, and there's a chair. There's 2 different computers, right? And there's a chair that you can sit in to use the computers. He goes from one computer to where the angry lady is standing. He's, pardon me, ma'am. And he gets the chair and he wheels it back over to the new computer that this dude is using. And this guy needed to do something. I have no idea what he was doing. But I hear him say, the guy tells him, he's like, you got 24 hours to print this out, so it's no big deal. He's like, man, I got to work 14 hours today. He's like, I'm not going to be able to come back today. I just can't do it. And he's like, okay, well, we'll do something, whatever. And so the guy leaves. So now the lady is next. And so she goes to a computer, and I'm 2 people behind her. And she goes to the other computer, and when she walks up to the counter, she's like, I just need to print out some stuff on this computer. And he's like, all right, I'll help you with that. So he goes and he gets the chair from the computer that he just, sorry, someone called me. And so he gets the chair and he wheels it over. And as he's getting the chair, she's like, I don't need that chair. And he goes, that's fine. I need the chair. I was like, and so I laugh out loud, because I am, as I've described before, I'm not passive aggressive. I am aggressive in these situations. I love making people feel uncomfortable when they are wronging their fellow citizens. I call them out. And I told you a story of, I want to say it was Bojangles. It was probably last summer I told a story. So this is going to be kind of similar to that story if you remember it. But this is just my default setting of being aggressive in like, what do you call it? In public, when people are just twats, right? So she's like, I don't need the chair. And he's like, okay, well, I do. And so he wheels it over there and he sits down because he's like 6'3". So he's sitting down and he's typing. He's like, what's your last name? She's like, Taylor. And just like that. And I'm like, and so I start audibly, so that she will know that I am aware of how dumb she is. I start making noises out loud like, ha, like trying to get her attention, that I'm like, why are you being such a twat, And she's like, I just need to print some stuff out. All I need is to print some stuff out. And he's like, okay. And she's like, how do I get that done? Because that's all I need. And she's saying it just like that, very aggressive and all this stuff. And so he goes over, and you can tell he's put out. And the customer is not always right, I might add. The customer is not always right, and sometimes the customer is just a twat. And in this case, they were a twat. So he goes over behind the counter. You can tell he's just fed up with her. And he gets the piece of paper that's laminated, and he slaps it down on the table, and he just slides it to her. Doesn't say a word. And she's like she's, just being a complete twat, right? And it's never good to be a twat, right? And so I'm next, because the other girl, I guess somebody was in front of us, and so I'm next. So he calls me up, and so now it is my job to make his job be seamless, right? Just as this is going to be like the best interaction he's had all day, because I now have to make up. It's kind of like when you see somebody being an asshole and they don't tip, and you can hear them talking. I've been in that situation where they're like, well, her tip's going to be reflective of this. And you're like, she didn't do anything wrong. You're just a couple of twats. And then you have to tip more than you would to compensate for the fact that they suck as humans, right? I swear there should just be a continent that we can just ship all these douchebags to. So anyway, I walk over to the guy, and he's like, what can I help you with? And I put the big box up, had some pneumatic tires that I had to return because they didn't fit. But anyway, it's okay. Hey, not all pneumatic tires fit, baby. That's the pneumatic game we play, right? So I put this up there. I'm like, I just need to return this. So I pull up my phone, I pull up the little QR thing, and I send it to him. And he's like, anything else? I was like, I just need to print some stuff out. And I say it just like that. And she's standing in between the two registers doing something on her phone that this instruction sheet he's given her is done. And she like stops what she's doing, and she looks at me, and she's like, you're an asshole. And I was like, oh, here we go. She took the bait. And I'm like, I'm an asshole. You're the one that for no reason tried to make this dude's day a living hell. Like, why don't you get over yourself, And she's like, and I hear someone laugh from in line, because there's still like 8 more people that have come in the door. It's like a busy day. I guess it's today Monday? Yeah, it's Monday. So I guess everything gets shipped out on Monday. And so we get into this like little quasi argument, right? And I wanted so badly to call her twat, but I still have to maintain like the higher level of civility, I guess you could call it. And I cannot stand people like this, man. Like, there is nothing in your day that could happen like that would bring you to the UPS store to act like that, okay? If you just lost a child, okay, first of all, why you're at the UPS store, I have no idea. So you shouldn't even be there, right? You should be grieving somewhere, at your house or with loved ones or at a church or at a cemetery, wherever you are, right? You shouldn't be shipping stuff, okay? So that's off the table. You could have just found out that your cousin has terminal heart disease or something and has like 6 days. Like, there is no excuse for you acting like a complete twat to another human without cause. Now, sometimes there's a cause. Sometimes there's a place to act like a twat to other humans. But this was not that time. This was not that case. There was absolutely no reason for this lady to be a T-Watt, right? And, I just hope that she gets in a wreck later in the day, or someone steals her license plate, or, she befalls some other, she forgets to pay her insurance and some cop tows her car. Like, I hope that something bad befalls her. And when she's dealing with that situation, I hope she's like, I wonder if this moment of epiphany is because I've been a twat to other humans. And she turns a leaf. She flips that leaf over, kind of like a storm when the leaves start flipping over and you see that little lighter side of the leaf, and it's about to rain on this bitch. It's about to rain on this twat. And that's what I think about people like that. And there's nothing inside of me that can quell the desire to just punk people out and call them on their bullshit, in public. I love it. And I don't care if you're 6'8", some dude. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, because when you talk shit to people, you just have to be ready to fight, and that's okay. But it's. I don't want to use the word Karen because that's too overused. So I'm using the word twat, and that's what we're going with. So to that lady, and I say lady in soft quotes because she wasn't much of one today. That poor guy, I hope he had a great day after she left and something good befalls him. You know, he goes home and, you know, wins the Publishers Clearinghouse. You know, Ed McMahon's ghost comes to his house and gives him a check the size of a small Buick, that kind of thing. Because that's what happens with the world. I really do believe, you know, I was listening to something the other day, and I think it was Zach Brown. I was listening to a podcast with Theo Vaughn and Zach Brown. And Zach said something like one of his friends is like, he runs like a, you know, thing down in Georgia where they do like a sweat lodge. And I think it was him that was saying it. He was basically like, if you live your life the right way and for the right reasons, things just are cyclical and they come back over, and everything just kind of envelops you in love, and it deals with you the way that it should be. Like the universe has a way of working things out, kind of like karma. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it. And on the flip of that, twats get dealt like twats, you know? So those people end up wrecking their cars and getting in some other punishment befalls them. You know what I mean? But anyway, don't be a twat. Have a good one.